Okay.
Okay, guys. So I think we are recording. So the biggest thing here, I think, for us, just to kind of refresh memory and whatnot, we were doing speed dating with um, the reformers from the 1800s. The kids were doing this speed dating activity. All these people they have to know. And so the biggest thing that we decided to do back, a few weeks ago was trying to figure out some sort of activity where the kids could get more engagement. Because right now at Hillgrove, we are doing in-person schooling and virtual teaching, which is just a whole lot to express. I know we're so happy, but that's all I can say. So Jordan, I know you did the activity earlier last week. So we're filming next, so I guess it was Thursday of last week. You completed this or whatnot. And how did it go for you overall? Like, what were your thoughts on it?
Amazing. The kids were super engaged. They loved it. Like they really bought into it, which
Okay.
has been very rare for activities for this entire
Yes.
school year. Like, I feel like I've tried several different things, tried several different like mediums, new technology, and like the kids are kind of like, nah, I don't really do anything.
Yeah.
They really got into this. I can't remember if when we talked about this, but like, I mean, we had students dress up
Yeah.
in some of their videos, like, or, Carrie Nation, with her little hatchet and everything, like,
Yeah. Living her best life and
that,
acting it
yes.
out.
Yes, like a kid, like put on some like crazy glasses and had like a hatchet. So like they really bought into their characters. And then the actual, like, they got a decent amount of like analysis and like they really like dug in, which I appreciated.
Yeah, it definitely makes it fun.
It does. And like they were allowed to have like a personal take on everything. It was great. It was great.
Awesome.
Loved it. The kids
Well,
loved it. I liked it.
awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear that because I know I saw part of the lesson that day when you were doing it in class and say the whole time. But for the part of the time that I was there, cameras were on, kids were talking about it. They were laughing at each other, like in the best way of like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you thought to do that. And like the hatchet stuff. And like, obviously this was not filmed at school. It was filmed at home. That's why there was a hatchet involved for people at home. I want to make sure
we're not have been able to
watching our video notice. But it's like they're getting creative and thinking about this kind of stuff that they're taking on these characters and they seem to be engaged and they understood the stuff. I mean, you and I looked at some of their responses and things after the fact and they knew what was going on. They understood the data shows it. Like I'm excited. They're taking their test on all of that stuff. I guess, what is it? Next week. So it'll be interesting to see what the test scores look like over information covering that topic. But I'm excited about it too. So it's fun. I know, have something successful because I feel like, and I don't know if you agree with this, but I feel like this year I have not felt like a successful teacher. And so it's fun to have an activity that kids get excited about and engaged in that's fun. And in my mind, successful. I guess we'll find out fully next week, but I don't know. It's a fun transition, which is good.
Yes, 100%.
I wonder though, obviously like it was a good starting point, but what can we do to make it better? So what I'm going to do really quick is I'm going to share my screen just so we can look at the assignment together. So before we look at the actual assignment, just looking at the checklist from our last meeting. This was the document I shared in our last session. So it has like the two different models for speed dating, the two little videos that I know you watched for homework. Also the checklist going through talking about like, hey, this is the process of, making a Flipgrid. Like this is the link. This is overall what we need to do. People like are at home and understand what kind of our process is. And then overall, I think the checklist was fine. I don't think that needed to really be altered too much. But with the assignment itself, and I click on that. So this is the actual paper assignment we gave the kids. So the first part is just kind of going through a synopsis of like what they're doing with the people and whatnot. I don't think there's any other people that we need to include. I feel like the main people are there. All the different movements and stuff represented in different ways. And I think overall our questions are pretty decent. I don't know if there was anything you really wanted to change here or add, like what the questions that the kids had to answer in the videos, but I feel like those are pretty decent if you're good with those still.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I think those are fine.
Okay. And then I will say, at least for me, I think for both of us, when we do this activity another time or when we modify it or whatnot, I think the overall reflection questions at the end, that could be where we kind of look for improvement, if you're cool with that too.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Can you scroll down to
For sure.
Yeah.
So this was all of like the actual assignment. The kids got to watch videos and stuff and fill it in to say, oh, my person would match really well with Sojourner Truth or, whoever it was. But I think our reflection questions, like, I feel like there's still room for growth here. Like I feel like we need to have another level of analysis here that I don't know, like with some of these questions, if we're getting that. Like, is there a question in particular that you're wanting to improve or change at all?
Number 2 kind of rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah. No, I appreciate the phrasing. So let's talk about why. Why do you feel that way?
I just feel like that extra level of analysis is not there. And then also, it's like you're choosing, like when you have abolitionism on the table, no one is going to sit there and be like, I, would not join abolitionism, so it's
Right.
like, that's kind of like an obvious answer.
Yeah.
So maybe
I do
just
agree with that.
tweak that one a little bit, or
Yeah. Because I agree with you. It's very much like, I would rather have a conversation about that in class to say like, is there a movement in particular that is like speaks to you on a whole new level, as opposed to giving them like points and credit for a very basic question. Like maybe if we, I don't know, just sitting here spitballing, to take the level of analysis and add to it, what if we made it something like, obviously their person is a part of XYZ movement already, but do you think there's like a second movement that this person would also really support or something? Like maybe change it to that way. So they have to take whatever, if they have, let's say Sojourner Truth, obviously abolition was her biggest thing. And like, that obviously makes sense to us, but like, was there another movement that you think she would have really supported? And like, maybe have to think further into that piece of it. I don't know. Like, that's just spitballing ideas.
Yeah. Taking that extra step. And then I also just like, what reform would you join if you could? Like, I do have some students who, might just put like, just they won't dig in a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
They'll just be like, oh, I don't want slavery.
Yeah. And that'd be it. And you're like,
that forces them to like take that extra step, kind of like what we've had to do with DBQs for world history. Like you write the question in the way that you want the students to answer. You kind of force them one direction. Yes.
Yes. I'm about to say, force them to the right point. So no, I like that. Okay. So we'll kind of keep that in mind, and I'll change that on the copy for next year and send that to you. I also was thinking, and I don't know what your thoughts are, but I feel like this speed dating style activity, we could totally use this in other units and whatnot too. And even in world history. So like Jordan and I also team in world history together. We're on the same, PLC. So I feel like that, I was thinking like in world history, just because it's so much material for our kids, like, and there's so many people over the course of the unit or over the semester, maybe for final exam review, I feel like we could do maybe something involving this. Obviously it's people from all these different time periods, so that might be a challenge, but there's so many people. I'm like, that would be an easy, fun way to review a little bit. I don't know. We can play with the idea, but I feel like in the future, we definitely could do more with this in general. I don't know what your thoughts are, if you're cool with that.
I love that. So it's it takes the who am I, that we normally do for like the final exam, where like, you give like a little like blurb about I am, was the first emperor of Rome, and a little bit about, each little person, and they have to put who that person was.
Yeah.
This takes it a step further, and it's a little bit more interactive, I think.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. And so maybe like we could take that who am I still and like use that as part of the assignment for when the kids watch the other people's videos. Like they all have a person, because like I don't want to like throw out what we've already done. Like I feel like the who am I is still a good thing to use, but maybe that could be like what they turn in after watching these videos as opposed to using their notes or something.
Yes.
I don't know. And they have to use their notes to make their video over whoever they are. I don't know.
Yeah.
Spitballing. We thankfully have a few weeks, but I don't know. I think it would work. So cool. Well, I'm glad to hear things are going well and that the activity went awesome. I feel like moving forward, like, do you feel like we have met the goal of having our kids be more engaged using technology? Yes or no?
100%.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like when I love Flipgrid.
Yeah.
Like especially after using this, like I didn't really know a whole lot about it going into it. Such a dynamic resource.
Yeah.
Like it's to the point where like even once we're like fully back in school and everything, whenever that happens, I'm like, shoot, we still might be using Flipgrid.
Oh, for sure.
So you can go back and rewatch as many times as you want. Yeah, it's awesome.
Okay, cool. Well, at least we got a new tool out of it, even if like COVID is kind of a bummer. Like we got stuff. So I'll take it.
You are a silver linings person though, and I appreciate that.
I am. It's way more fun that way. That's the way I see life. I don't know. Okay, well, cool. Well, I think that sounds good then. So I'm going to call us good to go and meeting adjourned. And
Meeting adjourned.
oh, I know. I love it. Well, let me stop recording. Let me hit the button on that.